Netflix Daredevil has been a series that I have not watched. My friends were always telling me how good Daredevil was. I used to troll the absolute living days out of him for this show. I used to just badmouth it just for the sake of it, just because it would basically rile them up. So they have been egging me on, especially J5. He has been telling me constantly that I need to watch this. So when they were announcing Daredevil Reborn and he's coming to the MCU, and then obviously we got Kingpin in Hawkeye, I was like, you know what, this is the perfect time for me to go back and rewatch this show. Well, watch the show, actually, not rewatch it. Watch this show, and then come back and give my honest opinion. Now, people have been telling me this is the greatest comic book show of all time. People have been saying all this stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on Daredevil completely. Do I think it's overrated? Do I think that what they are saying is nonsense? Or do I agree with them? That's what we're going to get into. We're going to get into it right now. So let me know in the comments below, what did you guys all think of Daredevil? And what are your thoughts? Smash down below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And let's get into this video of Daredevil right now. So I want to start off with the characters. Now, in this section of this video, I want to talk about our main characters. And realistically, for me, there are 4 main characters to Daredevil. And that's Matt Murdock himself, Daredevil, Foggy, Karen, and Wilson Fisk. Those 4 are the main staples throughout the whole entire show. So I'm going to talk about them in this character section, and then I'll get to the other characters later on in other sections as well, because they tie into with some other things that I'm going to talk about. But let's start off with, obviously, Daredevil himself, Matt Murdock. I must say, straight off the bat, this guy is now one of my favorite characters in TV history. I absolutely love the character arc that Matt goes on throughout the 3 seasons. I think it is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic what he does. From this helpless blind kid to this great hero that is out there saving people, doing what the law can't do by bringing down one of the biggest criminals of all time in Wilson Fisk. I love how they challenge his character throughout the seasons. And I think there's one particular character that really tests him and starts to talk to him about how they are the same thing, but then they're not at the same time, and they're just one day away from becoming the same person. And I thought that whole confrontation was absolutely incredible. And I will get to that later on in this video, because I think that was a pivotal part in one of the seasons that I absolutely love. And then the way that they did Matt, they broke him down. They completely broke this character down to rebuild him back up for season 3. And I think it was absolutely handled with perfection. I don't have anything bad to say about Matt at all as a character. I absolutely loved him throughout this whole entire time. I loved his chemistry. I loved the way that he was interactive with Foggy and Karen, and how he grew for them and wanted to really protect them, but also wanted to bring down Wilson Fisk because there was no other option. And I love Matt's character. I really do. I think it's absolutely fantastic. He is so freaking good. Absolutely great. Foggy. I love Foggy. I absolutely adore this character. I think he is so good. He obviously knows that he can't do what Daredevil does, so he's trying to go through the law. And I just think he's like the perfect yin-yang to Daredevil. It's like they're just destined to be working together, because it just works so perfectly well. And I think every time Foggy was on screen and he was talking to Matt, the way that I saw it was, Matt as Daredevil is this heroic person, but there's a chance that he could cross that line. And I feel like Foggy was the reasoning behind Matt never crossing the line, because whenever Matt was pushed to that point, Foggy brought him back to the light and basically said, look man, you can't cross that line. If you cross that line, you're no better than Wilson. You can't do that. You're better than that. Don't let him bring you down. And I think that's why Foggy works so well with Matt, is because he's that light that Matt needs, that keeps dragging him back so that he never ever crosses that line. So I absolutely love Foggy. Karen, I like Karen. I do have some issues with Karen's character. I feel like she sometimes got a bit annoying in in early season 3. I was kind of like, Karen, you're just kind of a bit like full on here. But I think once we got that episode that was dedicated to her and her backstory, that changed my whole thought on her character, because we heard about this context about her brother and everything like that happened, but we never actually saw what happened. And when you do see that, you understand her motives now and why she's so caught up in these investigations that she does throughout the seasons. So I thought her character really grew on me, and I started to like her. And she was another one that I think worked really, really well with Foggy and Matt. Now we move over to Wilson Fisk, who I think is one of the greatest villains in TV history. This guy is absolutely fantastic, and Vincent D'Onofrio absolutely nails it. After watching this, and after watching Wilson Fisk in this, it makes me hate that Hawkeye ending even freaking more. There is no way this Wilson Fisk is that Wilson Fisk. Absolutely no chance. Wilson Fisk in Daredevil is cool, calm, and calculated, and always a step ahead. He is just so freaking good. He's intimidating. You feel that presence on screen every time he's there. He's this arcing long villain that is constantly there in the shadows, pulling the strings, and he's impossible to stop. I think he was absolutely fantastic. I loved his character arc as well. I love his backstory. I loved everything about Wilson Fisk, and I thought he was the perfect villain for Daredevil to push him to his absolute breaking point. Fan-freaking-tastic. Absolutely love Wilson Fisk. Love these 4 characters. They were absolutely fantastic for me. Now I want to get into a bit of Season 2 talk. Now, for me, Season 2 is the weakest season out of the 3. And there's reasons why I think this one is the weakest. And this is where I have some of my problems with Daredevil. I think introducing Frank Castle, the Punisher, was a fantastic idea. And it worked so freaking well. Everything to do with Frank and that storyline was absolutely breathtaking. I was eating that stuff up. And this is the conversation that I was talking about before, where Frank is confronting Daredevil. And he's telling Daredevil, like, dude, me and you are exactly the same. We punish people. Like, the idea is to capture these criminals. I don't hurt innocent people. I kill the bad guys. And the whole idea is, Frank's the one, he goes, I don't give second chances because I don't want them to repeat. I don't want them to do it again. So if I take him out now, then they're never going to do it again. Where Daredevil has the idea of everyone deserves a second chance still. So you can see the ideology of both of them clashing. They both have the same message that they're trying to tell and trying to convey, but they do it in different styles with a different end result. And when Frank says to Daredevil, look, you're just one bad day away from becoming me. You're one day away from becoming me and doing the end. Killing them. And I love that whole confrontation with them too. I thought that was absolute. The contrast between them two was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. And I enjoyed Karen's idea of trying to get Frank's family's death out there and try to show that Frank isn't a madman. He isn't a psychopath. He's just a guy out there that's out to get revenge for what happened to his family and to stop the criminals. And I think the good scene was when Frank goes in to the pawn shop to buy stuff, and then that guy offers him, underage stuff, and he just locks the door and then basically kills the guy. And that to me was just like, the Punisher is here, and that, like, it's just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, the big problem I have with Season 2 is the Hand storyline. For me, it felt very, very forced. Because of the Defenders saga and the Defenders show that they wanted to do with Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and Iron Fist, they had to find a reason to get them to come in, and I felt like it was shoehorned in, and I just didn't vibe with it. I thought Nobu wasn't a great villain for this season. I thought he was really, really struggling to get this presence that Wilson Fisk had, because Wilson Fisk is in Season 2, and when he is, I must say, that jail sequence, man, with the Punisher, holy crap, that is insane. Bloody, gory, freaking brilliant. And when Wilson Fisk was on screen, I was eating it up. I just feel like Nobu didn't have that same presence. I didn't feel like, yo, man, this guy has this presence. Like, oh my god, I can feel it. I couldn't feel that with Nobu. And I felt like the Elektra stuff was just, it just didn't work for me. And that really hindered season 2 for me, was that whole storyline. I felt like that was dragging out. And then the ending of it, I was kind of like, okay, now I know you're pushing for the Defender stuff. So I kind of just like zoned out of that sort of side of it. So for me, season 2, I thought half of it's really, really good. And then the other half, I just didn't vibe with, unfortunately. Now I want to talk about season 3, the final season, which I think is the best season by far. Like, well, not by far, but it is absolutely incredible. I feel like they nailed this season. They absolutely nailed it. We come back after the Defenders saga with a broken Matt. He's like absolutely lost Elektra. He's like just his world's crashing beneath him. He doesn't know whether he can be Daredevil again. He doesn't know. He's losing his friends. His life's in chaos, absolute chaos. And I love this idea of a broken Matt. Absolutely loved it. We get the twists and turns of this season. There's big reveal with his mother, and that I did not expect. Like I that literally had my jaw on the ground. I was like, oh my god, I never saw that coming, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant. His relationship with father, and how father is telling him about how he knew and how he didn't tell him. I thought that was all absolutely incredible. But it's the arc of having Wilson Fisk back. I feel like bringing him back was the best decision, and he just elevated it even more. We got even more understanding of Wilson Fisk and what he was trying to do. I thought the whole stuff with the FBI was fantastic. The way he manipulated them was incredible. Nadeem, I loved Nadeem, his character. Absolutely loved him. And when he met his tragic end, holy crap, I was like, bro, I was actually sad because I like Nadeem. He was a good guy. He just happened to get caught up and be played by Fisk. And like when it gets revealed to him that Fisk did what he did to like get the health insurance out, so that he had to go into financial debt to save his sister-in-law, that is some dark stuff. And I was like, bro, like, I can't believe they did that. And now like this guy's gonna take the fall for it, and it was absolutely fantastic. I thought Dex was so good. Bullseye, man, he plays Bullseye. He was incredible. His childhood is freaky and scary, and I thought it was absolutely incredible. He was the perfect character to go toe to toe with Daredevil, and I like that idea. I like how Wilson got the suit made so that Dex could wear it and, you know, become Daredevil and really showcase that Daredevil's the bad guy to clear his own name. But I thought Dex was absolutely great. He is a tragic character as well. And when he finds out what Wilson did to him, that whole three-way ending was absolutely incredible. The whole ending of season 3, that final confrontation between Matt and Wilson Fisk, I thought was absolutely incredible. That scene was just perfect. When Matt's explaining to him, he's about to kill Wilson. He's about to do it. He's about to do the deed because he feels like this is the only way to stop. And when Vanessa says, don't do it, and like he comes back to his senses, Matt comes back and delivers that monologue to Wilson about how he's not going to allow Wilson to change who he is. He doesn't get that right to change who he is at his core, which is someone that doesn't kill people. Someone that just lets the system do it. Even though the system has failed constantly, but he knows deep down he can't cross that line because there's no way back. And when he's delivering like, you're going to jail and you will know that every single day that I was the one that beat you, I beat you. And when he basically says to Wilson like, you will no longer manipulate this system. No longer. It was just absolutely fantastic. I thought it was just the perfect way to end. I wish there was a season 4. I really do, because I'm kind of sad that there is none. And that ending with Dex, I was like, I really want to see a season 4. I really do, but We're never going to get a season 4, are we? I mean, who knows what Daredevil Reborn is going to be like? I don't know. But season 3 to me, 10 out of 10, easily. So overall, look, I take back anything negative I ever said about Daredevil. I absolutely take it completely back. This show is absolutely incredible. Season 1 for me, 9 out of 10. Season 2, I would probably say 7.5 out of 10. And then season 3, 10 out of 10. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. You've got great characters. You've got a great story. It's really good. The fight action sequences are absolutely incredible. It's freaking fantastic. You've got great villains, except for season 2. One of them, Nobu, not very good. But overall, the villains are great. Will Fisk is one of the greatest villains of all time in TV. Is this the greatest comic book show of all time? That is the question. Is it? Is it? For me personally, right now, I would probably say no, it's not. I would say it's very close to being the best, but I still think The Boys is probably the best comic book show on TV right now. I think it's just, that show's just absolutely incredible, which is no knock on Daredevil, because The Boys is absolutely fantastic, and it's got how many seasons now? We're getting more seasons of that. But I feel like season 2 is what let it down for me and made it where I don't think there's a bad season in The Boys. I feel like season 2 just let me down a bit for Daredevil. But do I think it's overrated? Hell no. Daredevil ain't anywhere near overrated. What people are saying about Daredevil is 100% true. It is absolutely incredible, and it is well worth the watch, and I'm glad I watched it. And now my fears for Daredevil in the MCU and for the show are very high. I'm scared shitless. I am. So let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of Daredevil? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe. And peace out.